Okay, so iQOO 9 Pro and OnePlus 10 Pro. Battle of the pros. Now, this is iQOO's first flagship, whereas OnePlus is 10th, 11th. I haven't counted actually. But you are in for a surprise in this video. So the question is, if you have 65,000 rupees, which is the best flagship phone to buy in 2022? Now, before we get to the interesting part, both phones are similar in some small things. Like, first of all, you get a really nice case in the box. I don't think you would have to buy a new one. And charger in the box as well. And my dear friend, charger and case in the box is a feature these days. However, the iQOO 120 watt charger is a PD charger. In simple words, you can fast charge your laptop, TWS, other smartphones. And surprisingly, you get a PD charger with the iQOO 9 Pro, but the phone itself doesn't support PD charging. Also, both phones are not one-handed, like they are big. Even if you look at the weight, the iQOO 9 Pro is about 212 grams, whereas the OnePlus 10 Pro is about, oh, this is lighter, 203 grams. And there's a reason for that weight. Like, you get a glass back, metal frame on both the phones. Even the big camera sensors with OIS, those all add to the weight of a phone. So, which phone do you like better and why?
Both of them are premium, that's for sure.
But I like the color of iQOO is better than this OnePlus.
Interestingly, one thing that I like about this iQOO 9 Pro is this. If you see, the area of fingerprint is far too bigger in this one. I think this is an ultrasonic fingerprint, so it will be much faster here.
And the camera island is so big, the wobble is almost minimal. And for OnePlus, it's still there.
Other than that, I will say the build quality is really subjective and both of them are on par. So I don't see any major difference. It's all down to what you like and what not.
The displays on both the phones are the exact same. You get a 2K 120Hz AMOLED display, LTPO 2.0, meaning it can go from 1Hz to 120Hz depending on what you're watching on the phone. But there are two small things. Like, number one, as you can see on side by side, the iQOO 9 Pro's display is a lot more curved than the OnePlus 10 Pro. And now this is not a problem. It actually looks good in real life. But the thing is, if I have something white on the page, like let me open the settings menu, you can see the color shift on the edges is a lot more visible on the iQOO 9 Pro. Rest, both the displays have really good colors, you get really good contrast, and of course you get wideband L1 support on both the phones, so you can play 1080p videos on both Netflix and Prime Video, as well as you have HDR support for Netflix and YouTube as well. Also, both the phones have stereo speaker. Listen for yourself. This is the iQOO 9 Pro. The OnePlus 10 Pro sounds a bit louder, but it's a difference of just 10%, 5-10%. Now, built-in display where both of the phones are almost the same, but camera is where the twist happens. Now, generally both iQOO 9 Pro and OnePlus 10 Pro takes really good photos, sharp, and the colors are also same with the flower and random objects. Also, I found the HDR on iQOO 9 Pro is better. It looks a bit sharper as well, and overall it was consistent with the skin tones. Again, in the ultra wide angle camera also I noticed, first of all, the iQOO 9 Pro is a bit wider in the default mode, and also it has really good HDR. Like you see at this Manu photo, even Manu is visible and even the background is visible. So the HDR is better on iQOO 9 Pro compared to the OnePlus 10 Pro. Now, both the phones have the same 150-degree ultra wide angle camera, like it's the same 150-degree ultra wide angle sensor. Now, photos outdoors look good, the colors are also good. Rest, you also get this small cute little 2.5x telephoto lens. This is 16 megapixel, and on the OnePlus 10 Pro you get a 3.3x 8 megapixel telephoto lens. And what I noticed is generally the iQOO 9 Pro has the sharper telephoto lens, but there's a fun little thing which happened. Like when I take Manu's photo, the iQOO 9 Pro tries to brighten up his face and the entire photo looks kind of weird, whereas it works fine with my skin tone. Let me know if you have an iQOO 9 Pro and this happens with you as well. Overall, the telephoto lens on OnePlus 10 Pro is quite limited. It's good, you can use in the normal photo mode, but you cannot use it in portrait or video mode. It is restricted by OnePlus. And in selfies, hands down, I would pick the iQOO 9 Pro. Like that Vivo selfie gene is there. Like the selfies are sharper. And even if you look at these couple of photos, the HDR is far better on the iQOO 9 Pro. Now, both the phones can do 8K 24 FPS, but the stabilization is 8K. You can have a look. And plus, if you will be shooting in 8K, you will be burning your storage just like Elon Musk burned $3 billion cash on Twitter. Freaking $3 billion. And this iQOO 9 Pro has this gimbal camera, which is advanced form of OIS, which would really help in night videos. So we waited through the night to take some night mode photos. And as you can see here, the iQOO 9 Pro takes a longer time to click night mode photos because of that gimbal camera. Like it's 1 second or 0.8 seconds on OnePlus 10 Pro, whereas the iQOO 9 Pro takes 2 seconds. And you can see the difference in photos. The iQOO 9 Pro's photos are much more sharper. Like you see this parking lot number or this red cabin, there was literally no light. So camera, clearly iQOO 9 is the better camera phone, and iQOO is usually known for performance and gaming. Well, see, both OnePlus 10 Pro and iQOO 9 Pro has latest Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. Now Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 heats. We all know that by now. So OnePlus 10 Pro has actually limited the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 performance to control heat and battery, whereas iQOO 9 Pro lets you use at full potential. And you can see the difference in AnTuTu scores here. See, it's a difference of 29 to 30%. And of course, you don't buy phones to run benchmarks. You buy it to play games like BGMI. So now this is very interesting. We'll do a practical test. I have the OnePlus 10 Pro and Manu has iQOO 9 Pro, and we'll both play BGMI side by side at HDR extreme graphics, because why not? Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. Currently the battery life is 44% on OnePlus 10 Pro, 89% on the iQOO 9 Pro. We'll see the battery drain as well. So now we have played for about 18 minutes, 19 minutes roughly, and I was having FPS drop at around 54, 53, you can see in the video recording, and Manu was at constant 59. 60 FPS. Yeah. I started at 44% and I am now currently at 35%. So about 9% battery drop. And Manu started at 89%. So currently he is at 82%. So again, 7% battery drop. So camera and performance is where iQOO 9 Pro is really good at. But the last decision where things can change is software. Both phones come with Android 12 right out of the box. Now, despite OnePlus's whole color OS thing, they have overall better software. Like 2 reasons. Number 1, OnePlus 10 Pro still has no bloatware, nothing. iQOO 9 Pro has a few bloatware. Now, of course, it can be uninstalled, but these things shouldn't be in a flagship phone. Number 2, OnePlus offers 3 years of Android updates and 4 years of security updates, whereas iQOO 9 Pro has only 2 years of Android updates and 3 years of security update. So you get 1 year more update on the OnePlus 10 Pro. Now battery is 5000 mAh on the OnePlus 10 Pro and 4700 mAh on iQOO 9 Pro. But due to the reduced performance and bigger battery, OnePlus 10 Pro lasts about 1.5 to even 2 days. iQOO 9 Pro on the other hand can easily go through 1 day. Rest in charging, iQOO 9 Pro's 120 watt gets you 0 to 100 in about 20 to 25 minutes. Whereas OnePlus 10 Pro 80 watt takes 35-40 minutes for 0 to 100. Rest, you also get 15 watt wireless charging in both the phones. You can also reverse wireless charge TWS or other gadgets. Plus you have all the important sensors, NFC, 4G plus carrier aggregation also works really well. You get 14 bands of 5G on iQOO 9 Pro and 9 bands of 5G on OnePlus 10 Pro. Also, both the phones support 50 watt wireless charging, but you will have to buy their proprietary charger from the website, which costs anywhere around 3000 to 5000. Now, the end conclusion is, if you want a phone for gaming and camera, especially video and telephoto camera, iQOO 9 Pro is a good option. iQOO 9 Pro base variant is 8GB, 256GB and cost 63,990. There is a direct 1000 Amazon coupon as of now. As well as when I was checking, you get 6,000 off on any bank card, which brings the price more down to 57,990. That's a really good deal. But for software, consistent long updates, OnePlus 10 Pro is a good option. OnePlus 10 Pro is a bit costly at 66,999, about 9,000 costly. The OnePlus 10 Pro does have instant discount on SBI credit card, 4,500 rupees, but not everyone would have an SBI card. Use it if you have it. OnePlus 10 Pro to some of you might feel like a boring update to OnePlus 9 Pro, but actually they have worked on removing the heating issues on OnePlus 9 Pro. Also, they should solve this whole Oxygen OS, Color OS confusion. On that note, this is Pradeep signing off. See ya pretty soon. Pew pew.